Hello, I'm Caleb. I'm going to show you guys how I made this little word game with Java and Android Studio. So basically, the word game has to do with these things called n-grams. And n-grams are this like probability concept that has a lot to do with compression and cryptography. But this game, it deals specifically with trigrams. So a trigram is basically just all the 3 character substrings of a word. So if you have the word computer, all of the trigrams would be COM, OMP, MPU, PUT, TER. Or no, I missed one. UTETER. So it's every 3 letter substring. Um, so the premise of the game is you're given a trigram as a clue, like MPU, and you have to input a word that this trigram will fit into. So what we got to do, I got a word list here. So we're gonna loop through the word list and find all of the trigrams for each word, and then we're gonna sort them and remove the duplicates because there will be repeat trigrams, and that actually is what determines the difficulty level of a clue, is how often the trigram appears in a word. So if you have like ing, that's going to be in a bunch of words. That's going to be an easy clue. But if you have something like crazy like XCY, that might only be in 1 or 2 words, which is going to make that a hard clue. And after we sort and order them and remove the duplicates, you'll find that around 20% of the trigrams appear in 80% of the words. So a clue from the top 20% of the trigrams is much easier, exponentially easier than a clue from the bottom 80%. And it kind of follows this cool 80-20 rule that can explain a lot of like natural phenomena. It's like the Pareto effect or Pareto distribution or something. But we'll get to it here. So this is going to require 2 methods. One to compute the trigrams, and then one to sort and remove the duplicates. Let's see. So import the packages. We're going to be reading and writing from a text file, so it's going to accept a text file as input, and it's also going to output a text file. So I'm going to create the 2 methods. This is going to return an array list of strings that hold the trigrams, and it's going to accept a string parameter that's for each word that we're going to be computing the trigrams. This is going to return a sorted list of trigrams. We'll call it sort grams, and it's going to accept an array list all grams. So what this returns is going to go into this as a parameter. Okay, so first thing we're gonna read. Oh, and we're not gonna use this giant list here. There's like 100,000 words here, so we're gonna test on this smaller word list here. So we're gonna read from testwords.txt. Scanner. And we're going to delimit based on new line. Okay. And then we're going to put this in each word to an array list. We'll call it words. Okay. Then we're going to loop through. Then we're going to add to the array list. Okay, and we're going to close the reader. Okay. And we're going to, let's work on this file here. So we're going to loop through this array list and pass each word here as str. So, and then we're going to break, or we're going to split each word into an array, and we're splitting the character. And we're going to add each trigram to an array list. We'll call it grams. It's new. Okay, and then we're going to loop through the letter. And we're going to do letters dot length -2. And basically, this is how many trigrams are in a word. So the word length -2. So if you have a word with 7 letters in it, there's 5 trigrams. Okay. add to it. And the string in Java has this method called substring that's super handy here. Pass I plus 3. So each time we loop through, we're going to add the index that we're at and then the 3 characters after that index. And we're going to return grams. Okay, so go up here and test this real quick. So first we're going to do we're using an enhanced loop here, string, for each string word in the words array list. Let's do let's do another loop here. For string trigram. Let's call it gram. In the let's call the method now trigram, and we'll pass it each word. Let's print out the trigram here. So let's see where we messed up. Do Java C Java. Let's see. Oh. Oh, let's cut this out for now. Throw that, throws. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. I read the read the wrong list here, so that printed out all of them. Gosh, that's got to be a bunch of them. This should be test words. Okay, so that's all of the raw trigrams. So now we're going to have to loop through and sort these. So let's see. Let's stick all of these into an array list here. Let's copy this method back. So we're going to create another array list that we're going to pass to the sort grams method. Call it all trigrams. Add gram. Okay. And then in this method, we're going to use a hash map to hold the trigrams and the counter, or the count. We'll call it counter. So I'll make a hash map where the key is the trigram and the value is the number of those trigrams. For each trigram that we pass in all grams, we're going to do counter dot put that trigram and then 1 plus. Okay, so if the counter dot contains key, it contains that trigram, we're going to do counter dot get or 0. So this is just a conditional statement here. You can do this with an if statement as well. I'm going to make one more array list. We're going to set it as counter dot key set. Okay, and then we're going to use a collections to compare. Now we're going to pass it list. Okay, and then we're going to return this list. All right, and then we got to alter this up here to do we're gonna okay. I'm gonna move this up here. All right, we're gonna loop again. And we're gonna, inside the loop, we're gonna call sort grams. We're gonna pass it all the trigrams. Okay. All right, so you see how there's duplicates in here, COM, 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 OMP, OMP, OMP. So this next time we run it here, it should get rid of those duplicates, and either COM or OMP should be at the top because that's the most frequent one. Nice. Okay. Now we're just, instead of printing it, we're going to write to a text file. So we're going to need print writer. We'll call it clues. Close the print writer. And then here we're going to do pw.println tgram. All right, and we're going to do it on the big list now, all words. So this should create a text file called clues.txt that sorts all of the trigrams here. Okay, so we'll look at clues, and there you go. So out of 100,000 words, there are 6,600 unique trigrams. The most common is ing, and the least common one is cbm. Okay, so next we're going to take our two word lists here, put it into Android Studio. Got to empty. I already created the project here because sometimes Android Studio likes to cry a little bit when you create a new project, but we'll run it. Hello world. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is inside of main, going to create a new directory called assets. This is where we're going to stick the two text files. So we'll open it in the Finder. So we're gonna stick. We're gonna need both all the words, and we're gonna need the clues, because we want to check to make sure that the word the user inputs is also in the word list, and they're not just typing the trigram. Okay, so there. First, let's make the UI here. We're gonna need 3 text views. I'm gonna choose that as the clue. This will be score, and this will be lives or chances. So we're gonna do score chances. Okay, and we're going to need, let's call the hello world one, we're going to call that clue, score, chances. We're going to need to edit text. For the user to input into. And we're going to need a button to submit. Okay, let's make this text a little bit bigger. Okay, let's run it, see what it looks like. Okay. Now I want the keyboard to always be on, so we're going to go here to the manifest file. And we're going to do input mode. Always visible. Okay, so we want the keyboard to always be on. Oh, let's change the button name to. Okay, and first I like to plug up the UI first. So we're gonna do. No, let's. Text view. Score. Text view. Need clue. We're gonna need chances. Then text view. Close. Score. Okay, and then all right. Right now we're gonna read the array list, or read the text files. We're gonna read both the word list and the clue list. Okay, so down here we're gonna try catch okay, we're gonna need a buffered reader. I'm gonna read in let's read the all words first. All words. Okay. I'm gonna loop through. Add the line to the word list. Then we're gonna close the reader. Okay, and I'm gonna run it real quick and make sure that we read this right. get the 10th one here. So I'm going to run it and should log the 10th word in our word list down here. So there we go, that worked. Alright, now we're just gonna do the same thing. So this time we're gonna read clues.txt and then clue list. Clue list. Add. Okay. Now we'll plug up the user input, what's it called? Edit text. And then the button. What did I call that? Edit text. We'll call it input. And then submit button equals button. Okay, and we're gonna set the on-click listener to this. Sometimes this will implement the methods for you. If year equals okay, and we're going to create a method here that returns a string to get a random clue. r.next int. We're going to pass clue list dot size, and this will just grab a random clue. Now in a real game you don't want to do it randomly because, like I said, they're ordered in difficulty or ordered by difficulty, so you might want to do something where it's like it gets harder. It progressively gets harder as you go on. So let's do set this dot, let's do clue text view dot set text as get random clue. So now when we run this, hello world should be some random clue. What? Oh, this broke because I changed the... Shoot. I'm going to change this back to edit text just to... I'm going to change this back to edit text so we don't have to mess with the constraints. Okay, there's a random clue. All right, so now we need to create another string. We'll call it guess. That's what we're going to store the user's guess in. We need int score. And then we'll call it chances. No, we'll call it lives. Okay. So we're going to do score text view dot set text to string dot value of score, and then chances. Call it lives. So this should be 0, this should be 3. All right. So now we're going to put this guess equals input edit text dot get text dot toString. Okay, so if guess contains let's get this from the clue text view dot get text dot toString. Also, we got to do and the word list dot contains guess to make sure that they're not just typing in the n-gram or the trigram. So this is if correct, if incorrect. So if it's correct, we're going to set the score, and we'll increment by 10 every time they get it right. And we're going to set that text view. Just copy this. We're going to set this to blank so they don't have to erase the previous guess. We're going to set a new clue. Okay, and then if it's incorrect, first we're going to make sure that they're not out of chances. So if lives is greater than 1, lives equal lives minus 1, lives, chances, text view, set text. I'm going to clear it again. So if the game, this is pretty much if the game is not over, I'm going to set another clue. Else, if the game is over, set the chances, and then we're going to set the clue to say game over. So let's test it. Okay, DGO. I don't know. I am not very good with words. So we'll look through. I'm going to cheat here and look for a word that has DGO in it. Bed gown. So this should give us 10. GYN. Gynarchy. I don't know. ABD. Abdicate. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Well, I know equine. Zombie. Okay, let's just get it wrong here. Make sure the game ends appropriately. Game over. All right. Should put a button in here to like retry to set everything. Let's make sure it ends right. Okay. Well, that's all I'm going to do for now. I might make this prettier and put it on the on Google Play. But okay, there you go. Thanks for watching.